All right, this is the 294th District Court. We are sitting in the Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 courtroom. Special thanks to Judge Sandra Plaster for allowing us to be here today. Yesterday, with all the rain and flooding, the district courtroom has some damage and it's unsafe to be there. So I apologize for us having to be over here. I know we're a little cramped. I know we're a little confined. I apologize, but we're going to move as quickly and efficiently as we can today on the docket. So I'm going to call your name. If you're here, say present or here, raise your hand so I can mark you down. And then after I call the docket, I'll begin calling cases. Seth Atkins. Monty Austin. Mr. Austin's wearing shorts, so he's going to be outside for a little bit. Richard Balboa. Richard Jason Balboa. Giovanni Chavez Rosales. Sanctions Court hearing. Giovanni Chavez Rosales. Christy Conger. Okay, thank you, Deputy McLeish. Calvin Kritz. Danny Dittman. Danny Mike Dittman. Christian Grindel. Christian Cole Grindel. Vegetarian Johnson. Nathan Cavapel. Am I saying that right? Caulfield. Cavapil. Got you. Travis McKibben. Here. Carl McVeigh. Michael Sanders. Robert Schultz. Jay Sean Spencer. Jay Sean Demonde Spencer. Kenneth Taylor. Kenneth Lee Taylor. I have a note that Mr. Taylor is in the Good Shepherd Hospital. Is that as of today? As of yesterday? Kenneth Lee Taylor. Kenesha Williams. Here. Tavares Dixon. Tavares Shadrell Dixon. Chase Enox. Saw Mr. Enox. Grace Fowler. I saw Miss Fowler. Rebecca Hunter. Rebecca Ann Hunter. Cornelio Reyes. Cornelio Reyes. Michael De La Rosa. Lonnie Richardson. Mr. Richardson is set. Is he appearing via Zoom, Ms. Abraham? He's not in custody, is he? But Mr. Damon, he's going to be zooming from Rains County, correct? Oh, this is the individual we discussed yesterday. Okay. And I do see Mr. Richardson and Mr. Dahman on Zoom. Christopher Watson. Yazdeep Nat. Braxton Henderson. Jeremy Cunningham. I'm sorry, Cunningham. Jeremy Cunningham. See, I got verified Smith County. We'll recall that with Miss Lee. Stephanie Rios. Thank you, sir. Isaiah Smith. Ms. Abraham, there's a note that a waiver is to be filed, but has not been filed. You haven't seen, okay. I'll recall Isaiah Everett Smith with Mr. Massar. Wayne Whitworth, waiver of arraignment filed, granted, pretrial set September 27th. Julie McClellan. All right, we'll recall that. Thank you, Mr. Manning. Carlos Hernandez. Keon Jernigan. Obed Mingastu. Shaquille Rogers. Danielle Worley. I'm sorry. Is it Daniel? Where are you at? Raise your hand so I can see. It's Daniel. Yeah. I'm sorry. When I look at it, it looks like Danielle. I apologize. Daniel Worley. Charles Massey. Charles W. Massey. And I see that Mr. Wilson is appearing Zoom, but I don't see Mr. Massey. All right. Is there anyone who's in the courtroom and I've not called your name? All right, counsel, do we have anyone that's ready? Mr. White, come on up. Who do you want to call first? Let's call Mr. Worley. Worley? Mr. Worley, if you'll come forward, sir. And if we'll make way here in the middle for individuals, come on up, Mr. Worley. Okay. All right, Mr. Worley is set for docket call today, CR 22-120.
Your Honor, the state and I have discussed this and a possible resolution. I need to get Mr. Worley to come in to discuss all that. I just need a short recall to this house.
All right, thank you, Ms. Heisel. All right, let's see here. Mr. White, I'm not sure if you're coming back on the 20th or the 22nd, but that's my next criminal settings. 20th. All right, Mr. Worley, court will reset you for docket call on September 20th. That'll be at 9 a.m. Once you get your reset notice, you're free to go. Who you like next? Mr. Mingastu. Am I saying that right? Mingastu. This is CR 22-190. Is it Mingastu? It is, okay. All right, Mr. Mingastu is set for pretrial.
Your Honor, we think we received everything we're supposed to from the state. We'll abide by the court standing pretrial order. I don't have any contested motions at this time. Ask the court to go to docket call.
Okay. All right. And you think September 20th is enough time, or do you need more?
Could I have this one?
Got September 27th, additional week. Otherwise, October 11th. Okay. All right. Court sets Mr. Mingastu for docket call on October 11th. And that will be at 9 a.m. And Mr. White, I need your client to sign his conditions of pretrial release if he hasn't already. You'll meet with the probation officers here and they'll give you paperwork. You'll sign that. They're conditions of bond, meaning that you're gonna have to stay drug-free. You'll have to drug test. There's gonna be a series of conditions you gotta comply with. If you violate those, court could find your bond to be insufficient, revoke it, and put you back in jail, okay? All right, sign your notice with Mr. White, get a copy, and then see Mr. Waddell. Jernigan. Keon Jernigan. CR 22, 183, 184, and 185. Morning, Mr. Jernigan. How are you, sir? All right, Mr. Jernigan is set for pretrial.
Your Honor, we're gonna ask for an additional pre-trial in this. There's quite a few parts of this. I talked to Ms. Curry's case. Who's seniors that involved, and then there's also an outside agency. And I'm talking about that situation. It's involved. I really think that probably. I think that's September 20th.
Okay. Any objection from the state? Mr. White needs additional pretrial on September 20th. All right, there being no objection, court will set Mr. Jernigan for an additional pretrial on September 20th at 9 a.m. And Mr. Jernigan, you'll also have conditions of pretrial release that you'll need to sign today. So you'll sign this with Mr. White. You'll get a copy, and then you'll see the probation officer, okay? Shaquille Rogers, CR 22, 115. All right, Mr. Rogers is set for pretrial.
Your Honor, we just completed that. The state was running off the video for me. I was able to pick it up yesterday. And that was okay. And I just asked it. Like 9:29.
All right, court will set additional pretrial September 20th at 9 a.m. Mr. Rogers, once you sign, you get the yellow copy or whatever color this is, or you'll be free to go. Okay. Okay, so he's reporting. Is that all you have this morning, Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. White, you ready?
Pre-trial, got the DVD. Analysis.
Carlos Hernandez, CR 22, 147. All right, Mr. Hernandez is set for pretrial today, Mr. White.
That's correct, Your Honor. We're going to ask for one more pre-trial, as I got notified yesterday afternoon that the DVD was available. I haven't had time to look at it. We also don't have the drug results from the lab on the case. And it might be very important because this was a tetrahydrocannabinol case where it was a commercial product, which could mean that it's CDC instead of THC.
Okay. And you got Ms. Heiser.
No opposition.
Ms. Heiser, Mr. White said we're still waiting on a lab for Mr. Hernandez. Is that right?
That's on the case run, but I didn't check, but Mr. White says it, he came and spoke with us last week, so I'm sure that's accurate.
Okay. All right. So September 20th or 22nd.
When everything else is.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hernandez, the court's going to reset you until September 20th for an additional pretrial. Once you sign and get your copy of the reset, you're free to go.
Get some paperwork.
Is that going to be on Mr. Schultz? Okay. Remind me your name, sir.
Yes, fine. Edgett.
Edgett. Yeah, you're,
Yeah, but Mr. Dow.
yeah, you're usually on Zoom, right? Yeah,
Sometimes.
Yeah. I recognize you more from Zoom.
I look better on Zoom. I would say in person adds 20 pounds.
No. Jazz Deep Nat CR 2272 and 84. Mr. Nat is set for docket call today.
Yes, it's correct, Your Honor. I spoke with the state. They have relayed an offer of the PPD program, pretrial diversion program. They advised me that they'll send me the paperwork there shortly. And then the set an appointment as the court takes it up as a plea setting. Here in court to go over the PPD agreements.
Okay, so there is an agreement for pretrial diversion or intervention. Okay, so we just need to set it to enter that.
Absolutely. Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been, so.
All right, so I've got my next court settings will be September 20th and 22nd or 27th. If you
Can I
have
call
one,
up my phone, Your Honor?
absolutely. Yeah, check your calendar.
27th would be perfect.
27th? All right, Mr. Nat, court's gonna have you back on September 27th. That will be at 9 AM. Once you sign and get the reset notice, you're free to go. Okay, you're welcome.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Maybe excuse.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say docket call? I meant plea. We'll just put plea on that.
You want me to change it from other PPD to?
No, that's fine. No.
All right, thank you. Maybe excuse. me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Edgett. Good to see you. Mr. Strotter, are you ready?
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
State
On the record, off the record,
off the record.
on YouTube, off you. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. I am here on Michael De La Rosa, CR 15 and 64. Previously, the file had said that there were no discs. I noticed yesterday that is in fact a disc that I'm picking up today, and so I would request another pre-trial setting, and if September 20th is still available, that is a date that works on my schedule.
Stating the objection.
Judge, there was, just for the record, when the case initially came in, Mr. Bowden was hired, wasn't any media, about a month after he was hired. A supplement came in, we didn't realize to click the button to tell him that it was there, so we've made it, it's available today for his pickup. We've informed him and stated it's gonna be today, right on time.
Okay. All right, then the court will grant an additional pretrial hearing on September 20th at 9 a.m. for Mr. De La Rosa. Mr. De La Rosa, once you sign and get your notice of the resetting, you're free to go. Mr. Manning, are you ready? Or you need time?
Just waiting on people to.
Okay.
I believe that it's.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try to bring in Mr. Richardson and Mr. Dahman, both appearing via Zoom.
Are there copies of the receipt notes? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogan.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Dahman. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Richardson, can you see and hear me okay? All right, I'm going to ask you to unmute right there. Just click that button on your phone.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, this is cause number CR 21404, State versus Lonnie Jean Richardson. We're set for a docket call today. Any announcements, Mr. Dahman?
No announcements from the defense. We have confirmed all discovery has been received. A new offer was extended last time, and I'm currently talking to my client about making a counter offer.
All right, and Mr. Woodwiker, Ms. Heisel. Yeah, you're going to have to come up here because I don't have the ability to broadcast like I used to. I don't have microphones or anything. So Mr. Dahman said that he, I believe, go ahead and say again what you said, Mr. Dahman. I don't want to.
I've confirmed that we've received all an offer
He said he's, I believe what he said earlier was that he's.
was a new offer was extended last. Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Dahman, you're probably gonna have to stop somewhere because you're breaking up. I know that you are driving down the road. You're probably going to have to find a signal and stop. So.
Let's see. How about right now?
Now's okay, but if it goes out again, we're going to have to stop and I'm gonna call another case.
We're pulling over right now, Judge. Yeah. So, we're pulling over right now. So that's where we are with this case right now. I think another docket call.
So do me a favor. Yeah, do me a favor. I want you to repeat it because when you started repeating it for Mr. Woodwick's benefit, that's when you went out. So.
Sorry, Tyler. Mr. Woodwick, I said that the offer that you made last time has been conveyed to Mr. Richardson. I'm in discussions with him about a counter offer. I can also confirm that all discovery has been received and provided by the state.
And we're asking for another, just one, a final docket call.
Yes.
Judge, state would be unopposed to one more docket call for them to fully discuss the case, but we would expect an answer whether jury or plea next time.
And is the revised offer, was it substantial? Was it a substantial reduction or what is the offer?
I don't recall.
There's two different options. One, because he has two charges. One is a 3G charge. One is not a 3G. The offers both, I believe one is 7 years on the on the 3G charge, and one is like 14 on the other. I can't remember exactly, but they put his parole eligibility almost exactly at the same time, depending on which option we would take.
Yeah, that sounds right, Judge. I just didn't remember the exact times.
And when did you make that offer?
Week or two ago.
Okay.
Something of that nature.
Okay. And so that the state's best offer. The reason I'm asking is Mr. Richardson's been on docket call since June, so this would be his fourth setting on docket call. So,
Judge, that's gonna be the state's probably last best offer.
all right, Mr. Richardson, the court will reset you for an additional and final docket call, and I will expect either an announcement that we're going to trial or that we're going to resolve the case on that date. If there's no agreement, then the court's just going to set it for jury trial and not entertain a plea agreement after this date. So, Mr. Dahman, are you available on September 27th,
Let me take a look, Judge.
22nd or 27th?
September. That was yesterday. You said September 22nd, or what was the other date, Your Honor?
27th.
Would it be a morning docket on the 27th?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, I'm available on the 27th, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Richardson, the court's going to set you for final docket call on September 27th. That will be at 9 a.m. And this will be the only notice that you receive, okay? I'm not mailing you a notice and you're not in court for me to hand you a notice. So this is the only notice you get. Do you understand?
Sir,
All right, can you tell me what the date and time is to reappear?
the 27th, 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. And that would be presumably it'll be here in the courthouse, okay?
Sir, I got you. No problem.
All right, Mr. Richardson, I've got you down September 27th. You are free to go, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dahman.
Christopher Watson.
Is he?
All right, can you see Mr. Dahman right there? Okay, Mr. Dahman, can you see your client?
Cannot. But
Step over here in
that's
front of that camera. Yeah, there you go. Can you see him now? You may have to slide left or right on your phone.
Oh, yes, I did.
All right, this is State versus Christopher Storm Watson, CR 22198, set for pretrial. Go ahead.
Your Honor, this is our first appearance in court with him. I just received notification from the district attorney's office about the discovery availability. I'm going to need to bring, the discovery is voluminous, so I'm going to need to bring them a portable hard drive to get everything from them, which I plan on doing, I believe on the 6th is the next time I'm in Canton. So I should be able to, by the next docket call, announce, confirm discovery, and I will be getting an offer from the state, hopefully in the interim as well.
Okay. And so what did you say about discovery?
Judge, maybe I should clarify, the DPS crash reports and everything.
Hi, how's it going, Leslie? My name is Russell Beasley, and a woman by the name of Linda called me on Friday afternoon.
And can you come up here because he's not gonna be able to hear you from over there.
Judge, the discovery was turned over as massive file sizes, and we can't find USBs that'll accept it. So we need the defense attorney to give us an external hard drive, basically, so we can put this discovery on it. We've tried to copy it every which way we can. We think that's the only way we can. So we'd like to join him in a request for a reset so we can turn over all of the discovery to him.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Dahman, is I'm going to reset Mr. Watson for that same date, September 27th at 9 a.m. And so you'll have to have your pretrial motions, if any are requested, 7 days prior to that date. So it's very important that whatever y'all have to do to make that happen, y'all make that happen.
I'm a bit confused. This is was this case older before I got it? Because my understanding is that this is the first, other than arraignment, the first appearance on the case.
It is. It is. It's pretrial. It's pretrial. And so you waived arraignment and you waived arraignment in July. We set pretrial for today. And so the code requires any pretrial motions to be filed 7 days prior to pretrial. I'm going to reset your pretrial date until September 27th. And so
Okay,
you'll
perfect.
have
I
a week
understand.
prior to that time to file any contested pretrial motions.
Excellent. Thank you, Your Honor.
Otherwise-
I just, just clarification.
Yeah, no problem. Otherwise, the court does have its standing criminal order with regards to witness list and other discovery. So this is really for contested motions, motion to quash, motion to suppress, motions to compel, anything like that. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Watson, I'm going to have you fill out a notice of setting. You already have it. Okay, you've already got that. All right. So you've got that. We'll see you back September 27th at 9 a.m. You're free to go.
Thank
All
you.
right,
I believe that's all I had in here this morning.
Yes, that's all I see you on the docket. So appreciate you, sir. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You have any other counsel? There you go, sir. You're very welcome. Okay. Mr. Henderson, if you'll come forward. All right, this is cause number CR 21-289. State versus Braxton Henderson, and we are set today on the state's we're set on the state's motion to increase bond and also on pretrial. Let's take up the pretrial hearing first, Mr. Estrada. Are there any issues on pretrial or any pretrial motions that the court needs to take up?
Judge, we're making our appearance. We're asking for one additional pretrial. We, at our last pretrial, the SWIFTs, the Southwest Institute of Forensic Science, provided us for our toxicologists approximately 3,000 pages of review. Our toxicologist had informed us he received it and would have a report to us. I asked him if he would have a deadline by today. He told me he would have it by today. However, I haven't received that report yet. I'm asking for one additional pretrial, judge. I think there may be there's multiple agencies involved in this case. There may be some continuing discovery the state has to furnish discovery over. So there's also some discovery, judge. So we're asking for one additional pretrial.
Does the state have a position on that?
State, I don't know, Your Honor, there's a lot of evidence and there's experts on both sides.
Do you think September 27th? Are you available that date?
I'm set for trial on the 26th, judge, in Cherokee County. And we do anticipate that trial to go.
Okay. What about October 11th?
Yes, judge, that's fine.
All right, court sets Mr. Henderson for pretrial on October 11th. And I'm setting it out that far in hopes that that will give counsel enough time to get what we need so that we can move the case along. I know that we're on our 8th setting now, so I want to make sure that we're making progress and we're getting through our discovery so we can get to that point where we can make an announcement of plea agreement or at least set it for trial. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So state, you filed a motion to increase bond. Are you ready to proceed on that motion?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, state would urge that motion at this time and call it for Carl Waddell.
All right, Mr. Waddell, if you'll come forward. Sir, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Hudson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Waddell, just for the record, would you state your name?
Carl Waddell.
And how are you presently touring?
Make sure you speak up so she can hear you.
You're back to. And what is your position? Do you supervise Braxton Henderson on the pre-trial release docket?
Yes.
On July 21st of this year, did he report to you?
The defendant was in court last month on the 21st.
Okay, so you met him in court. And during that interaction with Mr. Henderson, you asked him to undergo your analysis as part of his pre-trial.
Yes.
As before you administered the test, is it standard practice by the Community Supervision Department to ask for any admission previous to testing?
Yes.
Did Mr. Henderson disclose any violations during that admission time? And did he give you a specific date in which he had consumed marijuana?
No.
Okay.
Not for that.
Okay, just made you aware that the test would likely come back on. Did you follow up with administering a test based on that information?
Yes.
And did you send that testing off to the lab for confirmation?
Actually, I administered the test here in the courthouse with the result to be positive for marijuana on that specific test. I also asked the their call from the sample he sent out on that day as well.
Okay, and was that just for additional confirmation?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Waddell, I'm going to show you what the mark states exhibit 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, is this the pre-trial release admission form that's given before drug testing? After, okay. And is this a true and accurate copy?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd offer states 1.
Without objection, Your Honor.
All right, there being no objection, states 1 is admitted.
Mr. Waddell, again, I'm showing you what the mark states 2. Do you recognize that?
Yes, this is the lab results. West side.
Okay, and is that the test that was administered on July 21st of this year?
Yes.
And what is this a true and accurate copy of the results you would receive back?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I offer states 2.
Without objection, Your Honor.
There being no objection, states 2 is admitted.
Mr. Waddell, would you tell the court what the results of that testing were?
The results of that test was positive for marijuana.
Your Honor, I've had one.
Mr. Estrada, any questions?
Briefly, Your Honor.
Good.
Good morning, Mr. Waddell. The results came back positive only for marijuana and no other controlled substance. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And there has not been any prior violation reports filed by the court to your knowledge
Prior to this date.
prior to this. Correct.
Correct.
Testimony.
Just brief follow-up, Your Honor. Mr. Waddell is consuming marijuana while on pretrial release against the pretrial release condition.
Yes.
And was Mr. Henderson made aware of that prior to this test?
Yes.
No further questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Waddell. Ms. Heisel, any additional witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor, state the rest.
Mr. Estrada,
No, Your Honor.
want to argue your motion at all? Ms.
Your
Heisel?
Honor, I would just ask the board to take judicial notice of the state motion. We would re-urge that at this time.
Mr. Estrada,
Judge, I'd ask the court to, if the court does deem to find the bond currently insufficient, to raise it at a reasonable amount. In addition to allow the court to, in the future, reconsider defendant's position to reinstate the original bond.
anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Rest of close.
Rest of closed, Your Honor.
All right, then, based on the evidence before the court finds that Mr. Henderson has violated the terms and conditions of his pretrial supervision. Court hereby finds that his bail should be found insufficient. The court does find it insufficient, and the court will double the amount of his bail, and the court will consider in the future any request by defense for reinstatement supported by motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Henderson, you're going to be taken into custody at this time. Mr. Abraham. Can you give me if you don't mind. Stay for this or? Good morning, Mr. Wilson. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay, be just one moment.
All right.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, is this Mr. Massey?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Massey, this is Judge Chris Martin in the 294th District Court. Do you have ability to turn your video on?
Excuse me, sir.
Can you turn your video on?
I thought it was. I'm sorry.
It may be that whatever device you're on, you have to allow Zoom to access your camera.
Okay. I'm trying to figure it out here. I'm
All
sorry.
right. That's okay. Well, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You can keep on trying to figure that out. I'm going to go ahead and go forward with the hearing. Just remain
Okay.
quiet while Mr. Wilson makes his announcement. Okay. All right. This is
Okay.
cause number CR 22-111, State versus Charles W. Massey, and we are set for pretrial today. The court notes that Mr. Massey is appearing via Zoom today with the court's permission, and that Mr. Massey has tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. And so, and also for the record, Mr. Wilson is appearing via Zoom. Any announcements on pretrial, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor, there's no contested pretrial motions. I believe we've received all the discovery entitled to in this case.
All right, and I'm sorry. And Mr. Wilson, we're in a different courtroom today and the audio is not real good. Can you repeat that a little bit louder?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no contested pretrial issues in this case, and then I believe we've received all of the discovery that we're entitled to.
Okay, no contested pretrial motions in this case, and you believe the defense has received all of the discovery it's entitled to?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. There being no contested pretrial motions requested then or filed, then the court will set Mr. Massey for a docket call. Do you have your calendar handy there, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, I do.
Are you available on September 22nd or 27th?
The 22nd, yes, I am, Your Honor.
22nd. All right,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Massey, the court is going to order you to appear in court in person on September 22nd at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Massey, you're appearing via Zoom today, so this will be the only notice that you get from the court. Okay. September
yes.
22nd at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
All right. You are free to go, Mr. Massey.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. You may. Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Who would you like to call first? Oh, you just have one today. Thought you had several. Is Tavares Dixon here? CR 21-211. I know that Mr. Dixon's the Louisiana resident, correct?
That's correct. He was Alexander was your parish, that is. He was set for. He was from Louisiana. All right. You'll have to take it. He was set for a plea hearing a couple of months ago by video. He didn't meet the conditions to be eligible for that before it's set for him. Since that day, we've not been able, we've lost contact with him since. We tried to contact him by telephone and text a few times. Haven't been able to get to him, which is a shame because we got him pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Okay. All right. Then the court will call Mr. Dixon's name. If he fails to appear, then the court will issue a judgment nisi and alias capias. If he appears before 5 p.m. today, then the court will entertain that plea.
We will try to get it all of him. To notify him. I think he can probably make the 5 in if we out. So we'll make whatever we can.
Do you have cases on the jail docket this afternoon?
I've got Mr. McCaslin set for 3 minutes.
Okay, so you'll be here for a little while then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll see you this afternoon. Hey, Mr. Adams. Mr. Woodwine. Seth Atkins, CR 22-1, CR 22-236. All right, Mr. Atkins, let's see here. Got you back here to hire. We're here because we're gonna have a arraignment and you're to hire an attorney. Where are we at on that? You've hired Mr. White? Okay, so
Coming back on Friday, and he didn't get coming back.
so you've talked to him today and you're going to hire him? Can you go hire him right now and come back with him this morning? Okay, so I'll be here until 12 o'clock. So what I want you to do is you're not free to leave, like our setting's not over, but I want you to go and meet with Mr. White and give him the money that it takes to hire him and then bring him back with you so we can make an announcement. Because that's what I intended you to do before court.
Got an answer. He waited till Wednesday last week to tell me that he had something going on today.
Okay, so yeah, go get Mr. White and bring him back. All right. No, not yet. He's not reset at this time, Mr. Waddell. He's gonna go hire Mr. White and Jeff White and bring him back. All right, let's bring Mr. Austin in. Monty Austin. Go on up, I can't hear you.
Sorry for my look. I had to crawl under my truck.
All right, this is cause number CR 22-166, State versus Monty Travis Austin. Mr. Austin, you are set for arraignment and to hire an attorney, I believe. I believe you were here in July, right? So I reset your case for you to hire an attorney, right? And so who did you hire? You did hire Nolan White? How come you haven't? I reset you in July for you to have time to hire Nolan White. So how come you didn't hire Mr. White between then and now? This is possession. No, this is possession of controlled substance 1 to 4, 3rd-degree felony 2 to 10. I can't hear you. It's just, you don't have to get closer, you just gotta speak up. All right, well, let's hold on to that. So Miss Heisel. Mr. White, I just spoke with Mr. Seth Atkins and he indicated that he was trying to hire you on his case.
I spoke to him today.
Well, he indicated that he's already spoken with you and that he was going to hire you. So I told him to go hire you, to bring you the money and bring you back. Did he do that?
Well, I've been here the whole time, but I haven't really done anything other than.
Okay, did you see him when he left? Oh, there you are. Okay. So, Mr. Atkins, are you going to hire Mr. White? Do you have the money to hire him today? Do you have the ability to talk with him and accept the money, or?
Well, I'll go back. To the office. It's good time. It's your way. Think it's on his way.
Okay.
Get that first.
Here, just. All right, so this is what we're gonna do, Mr. Atkins. I'm going to recall your case at 3 p.m. today. Mr. White is currently working in the court, and so he doesn't have time to meet with you right now. So you're gonna report back to the courthouse at 3 o'clock, and you're gonna meet in a room right across from the courtroom. The courtroom's closed right now, okay? There's a room right across. It's called the victim's room. You'll be able to go in there, and we will have a laptop set up where you can appear via Zoom this afternoon at 3. That's going to give you time. It's really going to give Mr. White time to conclude his business here, and then it'll give you all time to meet after that before 3. Okay, so you'll talk with Mr. White after this, and I'll see you at 3 o'clock, no matter what, over there. Okay. All right.
On the third floor.
Third floor. Mr. Manning, you ready? Is Ms. Rios here? All right, Stephanie Rios. CR 21-309. And Ms. Rios is set for pretrial.
Yes, Judge, this time we have over this pre-trial issues. We asked for certain rights to file the call. We received an offer. I've gone over that. We proposed a counter offer. I think we probably be able to just work out. Other than that, the request we set out normal.
You available on September 22nd? You may already be here. I'm not sure.
I know I have a couple trials. Yes, Judge, I will be.
All right, Ms. Rios, court's going to reset you for a docket call on September 22nd. And that will be at 9 a.m. Ms. Rios, I show that you are delinquent on your pretrial supervision fees, about $350. Can you make any payment toward that today? How much can you pay? You can do what now? Can you pay it today? I believe so. So you'll see Mr. Waddell when you leave. Otherwise, I'm going to take up that issue on the 22nd also. If you're not paying, then that means you're not doing what I've ordered you to do. Okay. So I'm going to take that issue up on the 22nd. If you get everything taken care of, then you have nothing to worry about on the 22nd. Okay. All right. Once you sign and get the notice of setting, you're free to go. It's a different day, Mr. Waddell, so I'm going to let it roll. But you can use your discretion. Ms. Tabraham, did you ever find out about Mr. Massar and the waiver of arraignment on Isaiah Smith? I know I've thrown you about 4 or 5 curveballs. Do you have anything else, Mr. Manning?
Yes, Judge, recently appointed on Mr. Sanders. Hearing.
All right, you want to call Mr. Sanders? All right, Michael Sanders.
Judge, my client and I have had a chance to review the case tonight. Yeah, a chance for me to contract part of the case, so it's time to be not guilty. The request to be set pre-trial.
All right, court will find that Mr. Sanders has waived the formal requirements of arraignment. Court will enter his plea of not guilty into the record. Court will set this matter for pretrial hearing on September 22nd at 9 a.m. Once you sign and get your notice of setting, you're free to go. Nathan Copperpool, come on up. CR 22 220, CR 22 221. All right, Mr. Manning has been appointed as your attorney. And we are set for arraignment today. Go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Judge, I've gone over the indictments. You understand the charges. At this time, things don't guilty. His name is still corrected. You request acceptance of facial.
All right, court will find Mr. Copperfield has waived his formal requirement of arraignment. Will enter his plea of not guilty into the record and will set each case for pretrial on September 22nd.
Judge, if we may, as he's. Mr.
What about the 27th? We're getting pretty full on the 20th. See available on the 27th. It's the next Tuesday.
I believe he.
All right, then we'll set September 27th at 9 a.m. And I'm sorry, Mr. Copperfield, Richard Schmidt has been appointed to represent you. Mr. Manning here is just standing in for Mr. Schmidt. So I believe that you've received an order that has Mr. Schmidt's contact information. You need to be in contact with him. He'll be in contact with you. And we'll see you back on September 27th.
I have one on the next page.
Okay. That's also in CR 22-231. No, you're ordered to remain captive in the courtroom. Details forthcoming.
I do not have a way of looking on Mr. Messiah.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna call his name then. Is Richard Balboa here? Come on up, Mr. Balboa. All right, Mr. Balboa, you have been charged by indictment with the third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with a vehicle. If convicted and sentenced, it does carry a range of punishment, not less than 2 years in prison, not more than 10 years in prison, and a fine not to exceed $10,000. I've got you set here today on your request to hire an attorney, and then also you're going to provide me a copy of your eviction notice and your Smith County real estate information that we discussed last time. Do you have those things? And you're going to speak up. She's got to take down what you have to say.
So.
And I'm sorry, I can't. Let me turn my fan off because I can't hear what you're saying. All right.
Without appearing to gather the information that you have requested in terms of the eviction papers and popping down in the morning. Because that was a property that was in my grandmother's agreement for my grandmother was that she passed. There were no eviction papers that were present in that event.
So were you evicted or not evicted?
Maybe no, I still on property is and it's still my name, so it does count as an asset.
Okay.
I was not able, obviously, to provide.
Okay.
I still have not yet found an attorney.
Who have you spoken to?
I've spoken to the different attorneys, we do some online websites, and have pre-consultations, the phone calls and things like that, but
Can you tell me who though? Who did you talk to and when did you talk to them?
I think you might want to get down. I'll tell you what I'm talking about, so.
I would say so. So what am I supposed to do, Mr. Balboa? You've got assets that prevent me from appointing you an attorney. I've given you time to figure that out, to hire an attorney. You've not done that, and you can't even tell me who you talked to. Doesn't look good.
ask for today is that there will be a way for them to have an extension to time by the attorney. I would say, well, if that's not an option, then let's see what is over from there. So,
I mean, I give people extensions all the time to hire an attorney, but how long is it gonna take you? It can't be 6 months, can't be a year, can't even be 3 months. Tell me if you're gonna be able to do it in a week or two. And don't tell me, yes, I can do it in a week or two, just to walk out of here today and then come back in a week or two and tell me can't do it. Be honest with me, can you do it in a week or two or not?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, have a seat and I'll recall your case here in a few minutes. Let me think about it. No. Still in his name. Not, he said not legally. Yes. All right, Mr. Johnson, you are set for arraignment today and our second setting for hiring an attorney. Mr. Manning has indicated to me that you have an appointment at 10 o'clock or have had an appointment at 10 o'clock to meet with Mr. Manning or Mr. Schmidt regarding retaining them to represent you in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, Mr. Johnson, is I'm gonna recall your case at 3 p.m. today. And then you're ordered to be in the courthouse at 3 p.m. And we'll have a Zoom terminal set up over there where you can appear via Zoom.
I can come back next week.
No. This is our second time. What I wanted, I mean, that's what you want. This is what I wanted. I wanted you to walk in here with an attorney and I said, good job, Mr. Johnson. You did what you're supposed to do. And I reset you for pretrial in 30 or 45 days, but that didn't happen. So this is what's gonna happen. You'll be back at 3 o'clock today over in the courthouse.
And Judge, if I may, if he is able to redeem our services, would the court permit a waiver of arraignment be filed on his behalf?
A waiver?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, the court would approve that.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Christy Conger, CR 22-207. Christy Conger here.
This longer is outside of the meeting.
Okay. Will somebody go call Miss Conger's name?
So just so you're aware of that.
Miss Conger?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Conger, this is cause number CR 22-207. And Miss Conger, you are set for arraignment today on assault, public servant, third-degree felony, carries a range of punishment 2 years to 10 years in prison, and a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you have an attorney in this case?
Yes, sir. That's Mr. Versace that got stuck in Kaufman today.
Okay,
He's on his way.
he's on his way now.
Yes.
Okay,
He couldn't get a hold of the court this morning because the phones and the flooding and gas.
okay. All right, so I'll just recall your case then. Let me know when he gets here.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
Calvin Kritz, CR 22-9. All right, Mr. Kritz, I've got you on setting to find out which attorney you've hired. Have you hired an attorney?
This is Bowden.
Okay, and where is Mr. Bogan?
Just left here a while ago, got a client Dallas, he said he was moving out. He said,
Well, that doesn't sound like what an attorney would do. If you hired him,
"No, we're talking tonight.
so you haven't hired him.
No, I haven't hired him, but I will.
You just told me that you hired him.
Well,
So which one is it?
I'm gonna hire him,
Why didn't you hire him before you came to court?
because I didn't know, I didn't have all the money for him.
And how much money did you have?
I've got still 1,500 for him after them, so I got him covered tonight.
So you don't have it right now.
I don't have it on him.
Mr. Chris, I mean, we've been doing this song and dance
I
for
know.
quite a while now,
I know,
and it's starting to wear on me. 'Cause I'm just trying to help you, trying to help you,
know
trying to
you are.
help you. And then you just keep coming back and you're not doing what I'm telling you to do.
I haven't hired him. So
That's what you said last time. And you don't have him hired and he's not here.
I know, I've had some problems.
Well, you're gonna have another problem. And that problem's gonna be that $1,500 is gonna be following you to the county jail. Go have a seat. You sure there's not an attorney here in town that you can
I'll
hire?
hire any of them. They want.
Why, well, why, what, Mr. Kritz, don't come up here and expect me to give you
I
options.
know.
I've told you what to do.
I
You're,
haven't tried.
listen, you're a grown man.
Yes, sir.
You're an adult. You know what consequences
Yes,
are.
sir, I do.
And if I tell you to do something, I expect you to do
Yes,
it. And you're coming in here and you've not done it. So I can't sit here and wait on
No, sir,
you
you can't.
to
I
do what you're
understand.
supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
So
I'll tell you what, I'll guarantee you, I'll have him hired this week. I'll hire him tonight. As
You're-
soon as I get to talk to him.
you can't guarantee me anything. You can't guarantee me anything because you haven't done what you're supposed to do. And how many times have we done this?
This is the third time, I think.
Third time. Well, let's look it up. Let's be exact. I'll show you here on April 12th, May 10th, June 16th, July 19th.
Really? Really?
Let's, when I say it, you count them on your hand. You
I-
ready?
I
No,
know.
no, get your hand up. Get your hand up. April 12th, May 10th, June 16th, July 19th, today.
It's 5. Yes, sir.
So you're guaranteeing me if I give you a 6th, how does that sound to me?
Not good.
Not good.
Not at all, sir.
Not good.
No.
So what I'm gonna do, Mr. Chris, I'm gonna recall your case at 3 o'clock. I want you to be over in that courthouse at 3 o'clock, and I want you to have a lawyer.
All right, sir. I'll be there.
All right.
Thank you, sir. No, yeah, I don't know. Is Danny Mike Dittman here? Christian Grindel? All right, Mr. McVeigh, CR 22-223. All right, Mr. McVeigh, you are charged by indictment with the state jail felony offense of possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 1 or 1B, less than 1 gram. If convicted and sentenced, you would be facing a possible punishment range of not less than 6 months in prison, not more than 2 years in prison, with an optional fine not to exceed $10,000. How do you expect to proceed in this case? Are you going to hire an attorney to represent you?
Heard last week, but he already got a court date today, so.
Okay, who's the attorney you've been working with?
He got it now.
Who is it?
MUG.
How do you say his last name, or how you spell his last name?
JEE.
J-E-E?
Yes, sir.
Have you hired Mr. G?
I gave him down payment last week and he had a court already today.
How much did you pay him last week?
But
1,100? 500. And does that fully hire him, or has he got you on a payment plan to hire him?
yeah, paid him out.
And how much is he asking before he sends a letter to the court telling me that he's your attorney?
But
Robert, I'm saying, how much do you have to pay him before he'll do that?
I think the 500 will cover it. He just was previously engaged.
Well, when attorney gets hired, they send in what is known as a letter of representation to the court. And I don't show that.
Far.
Yeah, there's no letters of representation, so either one, you've hired Mr. G and he's not sending the letter of representation, or two, you haven't hired him. I don't know. So what do you want me to do? How much time is that?
Hopefully, look, so I've got $600 credit with him for something else, and last week he said he would put that towards this case. But I don't know how much he's gonna request before he gets that. He just asked me to come in and ask for a reset. To hire an attorney, and we'll get our stuff worked out.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do for you, Mr. McVeigh. I'm gonna reset you for September 22nd for arraignment and for status on your attorney. So I expect you to come back on the 22nd with him or some other line. I don't care what attorney you hire, if that's what you're gonna do. But I need somebody here representing you so this case can move forward. In addition, you're going to sign a notice of resetting. After that, you're going to sign conditions of pretrial release. These are conditions that are attached to your bail in this case, the bond that you've posted. It's going to require you to report. It's going to require you to drug test. If you violate any of these terms, the court can revoke your bail and put you back in jail. Okay. All right. So September 22nd, I'm going to have you sign this notice of settlement. It'll be 9 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry. It's right here. It's Carl McVeigh. CR 22223. All right, I want you to speak to Ms. Burns here. He needs to sign his conditions of pretrial release. Mr. Manning, are you on Mr. McKibben today? Okay. Travis McKibben,
That's right.
are we doing a plea on that?
Judge,
Just arraignment? Okay. Is he ready?
Yes, sir.
Travis McKibben, CR 22222. Mr. Jonathan Manning has been appointed to represent you, Mr. McKibben. You're set for arraignment today. Go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Judge, I've had an opportunity to go over Mr. McKibben's charge. Davis held correctly, the unshaped charge against him, unshaped waiver punishment, and please not go through this time request to be set on the pre-trial for September 22nd.
All right, court will find Mr. McKibben has waived the formal requirements of arraignment. The court will enter his plea of not guilty into the record. And we will set Mr. McKibben for pretrial
September 22nd.
September 22nd at 9 a.m. And Mr. McKibben will need to sign his conditions of pretrial release before he leaves, if he hasn't already.
I believe he has gone over, I asked him, he went over that with Mr. Waddell and the time.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. McKibben. Mr. McKibben, I also note on my docket that you're delinquent on an old felony case, CR 11-254. It shows that you owe approximately $1,900 on your court fines and fees from that old case. So after you sign your conditions of pretrial release, I want you to head over to the courthouse, go to the top floor over on the west end and meet with the court compliance officer, Ms. LaPrade, and talk to her about what you need to do to make sure that you don't get a warrant issued for your arrest. Okay, get on a payment plan and let's just start paying that off, and we'll work with you, and whatever you can afford, that we'll set you up a payment plan to take care of it. Okay. All right. You're free to go. Is Jay Sean Spencer here? Mr. Spencer, come on up. All right, Mr. Spencer, this is cause number CR 22229. Mr. Spencer, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance between 1 gram to 4 grams, that is a third-degree felony. If you're convicted and sentenced, that does carry a range of punishment of not less than 2 years in prison and not more than 10 years in prison, and a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you intend to hire an attorney to represent you in this case? Okay, and have you hired an attorney yet?
No.
Okay, and how long will it take for you to hire an attorney? End of this week. So if I give you 30 days, that's more than enough time? Okay. All right, so Mr. Spencer, I will reset you to return to the court on September 27th for arraignment. That will be at 9 a.m. And this is summer CR 22229. And it's Jayshawn, Jayshun. Is that correct?
J-A-Y-E.
Spell it for me again.
J-A-Y-E.
Jayeshaun, Spencer, Spencer. All right, so Mr. Spencer, I need 2 things. You're going to sign this notice of setting. We're going to give you a copy. You'll come back on 9/27. All right, and so Mr. Spencer, when you were arrested on this charge, you were probably arrested outside of Van Zandt County, is that right? Where were you arrested at?
Yeah, it was close to like the last meeting. So, like,
It was in Van Zandt County?
yes, I-
Well, they're telling me that they don't have your fingerprints. Okay, so what I'm gonna order you to
Oh,
do,
where I got arrested.
where you
I
got
was
arrested,
in Tyler.
Tyler, Smith County, okay. So the sheriff's office does not have your fingerprints from the arrest because you were arrested there, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this TRN order. And what this is it's gonna tell the sheriff's office to bring you in, take your digital fingerprints and then let you go, okay? So I'm gonna give you this. I want you to go out to the Van Zandt County Justice Center, the jail, out on 64. You know where that is? Going west, go out there, walk in there, tell them who you are, show them this. They'll take you in, get your fingerprints on some glass, and then you'll be free to go. Okay. All right. So if you'll take care of that, then we'll see you back on the 27th. All right. All right. Kenesha Williams. CR 22199. Ms. Williams, please tell me you have a lawyer with you.
I don't. Actually, basically, make sure I know. I was trying to see what I could do for the front door. I actually was supposed to be in mediation court today. I had actually used that course to see if I could get it rescheduled. I think they told me that I couldn't get it rescheduled. And I don't have a lawyer to file the motion. So what I did was reach out to the judge.
No, ma'am. You gotta stay back there.
The judge in the county that I actually live in, which is Denton County, he told me that he rescheduled because I'm the main holder on a lease that I have to be present because spread up between them. So I do have my proof of that to show you that I'm actually there.
Let me see what you got.
So and if you click on that attachment, you'll see.
Go ahead and click on it.
Make it a little bigger for you.
And what is this I'm looking at?
Resolution I had to actually file a notice with the court to ask them to grant it for another day, which you did for the 25th.
Of September,
No, sir.
of August.
Yes, sir. Actually, not tomorrow, but the day after that.
So you previously applied for a court appointed attorney, right?
Well, no, sir. Actually, I didn't. I tried to hire me attorney, which I had the plans to, but with this happening, money I had left over for that, I'm not gonna have to pay, fines in court. So
Well, let's do this then. Let's have you go back and Ms. Taberham, when she comes back in, I'll have you fill out the court appointed paperwork.
Yes,
and we'll
sir.
see where you are financially.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Ms. Taberham, this is Ms. Williams, and she wants to apply for court appointed attorney. I know. He voluntarily knew the traffic. He wanted the money and the family about it. So this is just a part about being in the traffic, you know? All right, for the record, cause number CR 22-212, State versus Jeremy Quinn Cunningham. Court has confirmed that Mr. Cunningham is currently confined in the Smith County Jail. Court finds that Ms. Shunda Lee is attorney of record, set for arraignment today, so I'm not sure where Ms. Lee is, but court will reset Mr. Cunningham for a status of custody and on arraignment. We'll reset that for 9/27 at 9 a.m. Is Isaiah Smith here? Isaiah Everett Smith. All right, for the record, cause number CR 22-188-189. Ms. McClellan, do we know if Ms. McClellan is still in federal custody? That's what my docket says. That's what Mr. Manning announced for Mr. Schmidt.
I know at the last setting she was, and it was my understanding they had no intention of letting her go anytime soon, but let me see if I can find confirmation.
If you don't mind, I appreciate it. All right, so we're waiting on Mr. White and Mr. Schultz for a plea. Waiting on Mr. Ashmore.
Did we ever, the court make a ruling on this SAR?
Miss Taberham said that Mr. Massar emailed her a waiver, but it's not been acknowledged by the defendant, so it's not a valid waiver. So court's calling his name and he's not here, then the court's going to do a judgment not sign alias capias, and he can turn himself in and argue that later. So anyway, we're waiting on Mr. Ashmore. Williams, I think I called. Mr. Austin?
I went over to Mr. Watt's office. He was in there. He went ahead and had him fill out the paperwork. And he said there would be the contact switch paperwork. I have no other appointment with him to go on record.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll recall your case at 3 o'clock and you'll just show up at the courthouse and we'll have a Zoom terminal set up. So top floor, 3rd floor, just set in the hallway at 3 o'clock and we'll call you.
So I don't need to wait for them, but he said they were going to send it over to verify that he's taking the case.
Oh, I thought you said you had an appointment with him.
Tomorrow at 11, I'm gonna, because I'm off, he's gonna come in, I'm gonna go in and he's gonna take all the statement I have. That he made me fill out all the paperwork and send it back and forth.
Okay, all right, I'll tell you what, we'll reset you then to Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, hang on. I gotta give you a notice of setting. We'll set you at Thursday at 9 a.m. Brian, if you want me to fill that out, I will. You don't have a docket over there, do you? Oh, do you? Okay. Do you have a question? No, actually, we'll be on the 2nd floor of the courthouse over there. We're having to move around because of the damage in our courtroom.
So what's your name? Monty Austin. MONTIE.
I've got him as the 3rd one on the first page. Right, and so I want you to check with Ms. Burns here. I've got a note that Mr. Austin's not reporting, is delinquent. So I want you to report to pre-trial release before you go. Okay.
Well, and the federal website doesn't show burn penalty. I believe it only shows people sentenced to federal prison from what I can see. However, we did confirm at her last setting that she was released from our jail to board prison. So as far as Kate is aware, she is still in custody.
Okay. All right, we'll kick her out to. We'll kick her out to October 11th for a status. And Ms. Abraham, any update on Mr. Ashbourne? All right, do we have anyone else that's ready? So I've got Mr. Atkins coming back at 3 o'clock. We've reset Mr. Austin to Thursday. Mr. Balboa, Mr. Manning has been appointed to Mr. Balboa, so we're going to recall him in a moment. We're waiting on Mr. Versace with Ms. Conger. I'm going to recall Mr. Kritz. I'm going to recall him at 3. Terry and Johnson, I'm going to recall at 3. Mr. Wyatt's got his plea.
No, you're all right down.
Okay, well, hang on just a second. Miss Williams is applying for court-appointed attorney. Mr. Dixon, let's see. Mr. Enox is waiting for Mr. Ashmore. Miss Fowler's waiting for Mr. Ashmore. Miss Hunter. Is Rebecca Hunter here? Okay. Miss Hunter, where were you at 9 a.m.? Why? Well, I know you were late, but why?
Well, not always the best way to go, but I apologize.
Okay. All right, we'll wait for Mr. Ashmore to get here and then I'll call your case. And then Mr. Reyes is a no-show. And let's see, Isaiah Smith, there's not a waiver on file. With the acknowledged by the. But the first one he sent you had no pre-trial acknowledgement. I want to look at that one. Isaiah Smith. Definitely saw it before that one. I said Cornelio Reyes. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna let Mr. Ashmore get here to talk with the state to find out. All right, Mr. White, this is cause number CR 21310. Mr. Schultz, if you'll come forward. I've got Mr. Schultz set for pre-trial today, but you were thinking it was gonna be a plea?
Your Honor, we had the plea for the last time we had a car wreck. I've been informed by Mr. Schultz who was in the That's not what I'm saying. It's the plea that was offered.
So,
I have no problem.
are you filing a motion to withdraw?
I can file one. I'll make it a oral one. I'll do it whatever way you want me to.
Okay. Well, I'd like to have a motion filed.
But for the
So-
record, I'd like to have Mr. Schultz, say that he's agreed to this.
So, Mr. Schultz, you do not want Mr. White to be you hired Mr. White to be your lawyer. You don't want him to be your lawyer anymore. And if the court grants him to withdraw, then who's going to be your attorney? Can't hear you. Well, I understand that. That's implied in my question. Who is going to be your attorney? Okay, then I'm not going to let Mr. White withdraw at this time, and we're going to move forward on your case. So why do you not want Mr. White to be your lawyer? I can't hear a word you're saying. Can you speak up? Okay, and you don't have to agree to the plea deal. You can have a trial. You understand that? Okay, Mr. White, do you want to add on anything to that? I mean, he understands that he doesn't have to accept a plea and that he can go to trial, and has he engaged you to go to trial?
Well, actually, I have not been paid.
And is that part of the motion for the withdrawal?
That will be.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this for additional pretrial on September. Are you available the 22nd or the 27th?
I'm gonna be up here on the 20th for sure, but I can probably be here on the. I guess I could be here on the 27th.
27th. Okay. All right, Mr. Schultz, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set you for pretrial on September 27th at 9 a.m. If you do not want Mr. White to be your lawyer, Mr. White between now and then is gonna file a motion to withdraw, and he's gonna lay out the grounds. The court will take that up on the 27th. If you agree to that motion, you don't have to, but if you agree to that motion, then I will expect you to have hired your other attorney before the 27th. So if you hire another attorney before then Mr. White can file a motion to withdraw, and the other attorney can file a motion to substitute, and I can grant that. Mr. White won't have to be back here on the 27th. Your new lawyer can be here, and we'll move forward with your case. So my expectations of you is to have, if you don't want Mr. White and you want another attorney, is to have that other attorney in place with you on the 27th. Understand? All right. Mr. White, if you'll have Mr. Schultz sign a reset notice for September 27th, then once you get that, you're free to go. Let's add them.
Good morning, I guess I see you at 3 o'clock.
Yes, here, 1 second, I'll talk to you. We're gonna stand in recess for about 10-15 minutes, okay? So you're welcome to get up, move around.
Let me follow.
Can we go to your office?
You get them off?
Me and you, we can bring it on. Go forward.
Those are my notes. In your situation, well, you discovered.
Sharon is not going to for him, but she has some software we don't use. One to. Whatever location they need spot, so when she was living in one place that was reported here when she moved. Yeah, I don't know, I don't think she lived there, I think that was just the closest location to whatever address she was getting at the time. But yeah. She was spelling it right here, basically. Yeah, I asked her about that too, and she said CPS is all the same, so I don't know. But one, one is 3,000, and the one of the names that we were asking if you're not time. So it could take a minute to redact all that, but she was kind of saying what she wouldn't type in the name. And we will grab all of them and we're back on for the name of her. No, there's I think she has 2 rolled out on the budget supervision. So now I think that I don't think that yeah, I mean, just because in the past, somebody filed on your not having to doesn't mean I mean, that is yeah. No, but one is on.
Oh. Yeah.
Don't you do it. Yeah. Yeah.
I read the report on yes, correct. That's great. So, yeah. Oh, I've got 3 cases. One's out with a baby, and one's about to go down. One with a baby, switching sides. Oh, she was her. Anyway, that's okay. What else we got? Then we got non-animal shelter. I mean, we're just gonna mix it up. Rebecca Hunter's here, Jason. I know you're there. Is that mine? Cornelio, has a request to be on. And I know that there's a 16 offer for Grace. No, not for this hunter. We have to get sheets. Finished with her. We need to talk to you.
No, I know.
I'm just saying that she didn't know back. Yeah, I think that's. I think that we're on. So I don't know how this board. Final 3, sweetheart. So if you were do a time survey. Yeah, it's even trustee now a lot of times. It's the fact that speaking on it's no way it's much more than. But if we're gonna do this as a jail, or if you wanted a probation, I don't think it's gonna be. You like, there's no way this. 1994 Saturday, very hard. And you got that, you know, he's got. He's a. I've seen her, I don't know whether it's 9 months ago, 6 months. I think it's shoot, I don't think that's. Well, I think we gave him the sweetheart.
Well, I mean, obviously, make that announcement.
I think what you're talking about with the program. That was just right. We're talking about both of those in the same. I want to watch that guy with the.
Yeah, so.
I think you talked me out of. Yeah.
I think they're over there in the bag. Figure out how we do that without.
I almost. Yeah. Let's see if we can kind of. And maybe, and that's, it was an, it's an. Maybe. No, it's not, it's a good amount, it's all in it, because I'm following y'all. I guess the question is, do we have anybody?
We usually have.
Or the judge.
No. We usually have Dr. Thompson.
I think that's what, the time circumstances was handling, not. So the jail officer staying, yeah, that's what you said, jail officer staying. Yeah, which I think. They're probably come down to like 15, but that's as good as it will get. He just got out of state jail for stealing stuff. He's in multiple. He just can't stop. It's been a while.
Isn't that the?
Yeah, so. I don't know about you. I don't know. We can will on all that. Owner, yeah, it doesn't mean like you heard this. No, it's just a conversation. And then if we're talking about the other checks,
I don't know.
even back in the car.
Based on what I know, sounds good.
This is the, yeah, sure, $40 for, she's having down there. You don't. Really, you want to try that, like, we're going to start, well, I'm having, like, you know, something downstairs. So she's in a year, wait for a jury trial, you probably just like. Yeah. You somebody one of them hold the state takes it all. We can get
to remove any further.
So I can use language. So MSRP on that is still 18. I would do 15 if he wants to basically agree and waive today. I think that's better than you. If he waives hearing. Except if he accepts the waiver. I can, we can get paperwork for that, but you can get it to. Before, like, not according to this even, if he's accepted. This money is. We don't take your loan.
Okay.
Been innocent, he's got 7 months. Another 8 months. We have to do it.
Okay. You don't have, you have, I thought we made you a copy on. You looked at it? Okay, I will get you a hard copy, like what I'm gonna have to do is really, because I don't have to make all something over on sheet of paper, front and back, so I'm just gonna make you a permanent back, but it won't make sense to that.
I didn't turn it on mute, but said, someone text me, said, they can hear everything. It's still on.
No.
We're still on recording until.
Yeah.
2 minutes ago.
That's fine. We can record everything. It's a public forum. Everything gets recorded. All right, Mr. Manning, are you ready? All right, Mr. Ashmore, are you ready?
I'm ready on.
Ms. Fowler, if you'll come on up, ma'am. And if you want to come up with it again. Oh, let me get over here. Ms. Fowler, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. You're looking well. All right, this is cause number CR 2333 and 334. State versus Grace and Fowler. And I think we're just having a status on the outpatient restoration and how that's going. Mr. Ashmore, any updates for the court?
My understanding is we're complete. We're at the completion stage. So Ms. Fowler obviously is doing exceptionally better, the best I've ever seen. I'm in regular contact with Chrissy, who's her guardian and caretaker, along with her husband, and she seems to just be doing remarkable. I've had a conversation with Ms. Heisel, and we think that the next step may be another evaluation, but we're going to defer to the court's guidance on that. A dismissal and an apology steak dinner. The DA's office would also be fine. Just kidding about that last bit.
I'll let you take that up with them.
Okay.
All right. And so, well, typically what would occur now is if the treatment has been completed, if we believe that Ms. Fowler may be competent at this time, then we would reevaluate her at this time. And I would order another expert to reevaluate her. We could do the same doctor that found her to be incompetent, or we could find a new expert to do that. But that's typically the next step in the legal process.
Okay.
I feel like we're ready to do that. Mr. Bashir, anything further?
I'd just like to, let the court know that, Ms. Fowler's court order expired at the end of June, and she voluntarily continued in treatment, just for her sake. So, we don't meet as often. We probably see each other every other week, but she stays in touch with me on the phone every week. So, I mean, very proud of the effort she's put forward.
Good.
For herself.
Good. Good. Well, I'm glad. I know she appreciates that, and I know she appreciates what you're doing as well. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Bashir. All right, then, Mr. Ashmore, I believe that right now the court is unable to move forward on Ms. Fowler's case without a finding of competency. So if the state is still wanting to go forward with its prosecution, then the court would order for another evaluation of Ms. Fowler.
The state would ask the court to do that at this time. I think that a finding would help us come to a resolution on this case. The state is going to continue prosecution. However, the result of that finding may impact what the state offers.
And do we remember off the top of our head who the expert was? Dr. Compton. Okay. Okay, and is there any objection to Dr. Compton doing the same exam if she's willing to take it? I believe at the time she was working with the court. I think her practice has since gotten to the point where she's not able to take court appointments, but she probably would if I called her and asked her, do we want Dr. Compton?
That'd be my request, simply because she had a good relationship with Ms. Fowler. Probably when Ms. Fowler was at her most difficult to deal with pre-treatment, and was able to communicate with her and get her in communication with her, which was one of our biggest impediments back in the early part of this case. So that'd be our request. If she'll do it, we'd like to make that request.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to reset Ms. Fowler. Are you available on, say, October? Let's look in October, maybe something later, so that gives me time to get with Dr. Compton. And if Dr. Compton can't do it, then I'll notify the parties.
Yes, sir.
What about October 25th? Are you available on October 25th?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll set up for competency reevaluation October 25th. Ms. Fowler, what I expect is I will have someone appointed, Dr. Compton. If not Dr. Compton, then someone else. And I'll give that information to Mr. Ashmore, and that person will be in contact with you, and you'll need to set up a time to go see that doctor and go through another competency evaluation. And that will be reported back to Mr. Ashmore, to the attorneys for the state, and to the court. Okay. And so I'm going to set it out to October 25th. So hopefully that gives everyone enough time between now and then to do that. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay. Well, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad that you find Ms. Brashear and her services to be helpful. I know that's what she's here to do, and she takes pride in what she does. So. Okay, well, I can tell by the way you are today versus the first time I met you on Zoom at the Waffle House or wherever you were, was quite different. So, no, it's okay. Well, you did, but I didn't take it to heart. So, all right. So I want you to sign, Mr. Ashmore. It's going to give you a reset notice, and then we'll see you back on the 25th, and then just be awaiting some kind of contact from Mr. Ashmore or the doctor about setting something up. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not worried about it right now. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Manning?
Ms. Williams.
Ms. Williams, come on up. All right, the court has appointed the Honorable Jonathan Manning to, oh, I'm sorry, has appointed Honorable Richard Schmidt to represent Miss Kenesha Williams here. And Mr. Manning is an associate with Mr. Schmidt. And so he's going to stand in just for purposes of arraignment. Are you ready, Mr. Manning, for arraignment? Go ahead.
Judge, I've gone over the charge and indictment with Ms. Williams. She understands the charge against her. Her name is spelled correctly. At this time, she's pleading not guilty and request to be set out on the future.
All right, court will enter Ms. Williams' plea of not guilty into the record, find that she's waived the formal requirements of arraignment. Court will set Ms. Williams, I believe we set Mr. Schmidt earlier for maybe October 11th. Is that correct? So we'll set Ms. Williams on that date for pretrial. And Ms. Williams, you have conditions of pretrial release. You've already gone over those. So make sure you're still complying with that. And then stay in contact with Mr. Schmidt, and we'll see you back on October 11th at 9 a.m. You're welcome.
I'm free to go.
Yes, once you get this notice, you're free to go. Did they follow waiver? Okay, that's fine. I told 9/27. Okay, thank you. And Mr. Manning, Mr. Abraham just told me that the waiver's been filed on Mr. Johnson by Mr. Schmidt, so that's set 9/27. So I won't be recalling him at 3. You note your docket, Mr. Woodwhite. For the record, also cause number CR 20393, State versus Jatarian Lindell Johnson. I was going to recall that case at 3. Mr. Johnson has retained Mr. Schmidt, and a waiver has been filed, and pretrial will be set September 27th.
And Judge, I'm also ready to appoint this to Mr. Balboa.
Mr. Balboa, come on up. What date do you want on that?
I would do the 22nd.
All right, Mr. Balboa, the court has appointed the Honorable Jonathan Manning to represent you based on your request for court-appointed attorney. Court is going to set you for pretrial hearing on September 22nd at 9 a.m. And we're set for arraignment today.
Yes, Judge. I've gone over the indictments. I understand the charge against him. His name is spelled correctly. He understands the range of punishment. At this time, he pleads not guilty and request to be set on the future.
All right, court enters Mr. Balboa's plea of not guilty into the record, and we do set him September 22nd for pretrial. Mr. Balboa, make sure you sign your conditions of pretrial release. Have you already done that? Have you met with the probation officer, pretrial release officers? Okay. Report over here to Ms. Byrne or Officer Matura, one of these ladies in the black or the white, and they're going to have you fill out some forms. So these are going to be conditions that you have to comply with to stay on bail during the case. Okay. Okay. That's all you have, right, Mr. Manning?
Yes, Judge, I believe so.
You better go. Mr. Ashmore, who are you ready on now?
Well, I have a request to have Mr. Cornelio Reyes here on Zoom. But he did make that request and I explained to him over email yesterday. A little late, but
Yeah,
the
so
courthouse is damaged. I wasn't really sure.
sure. What's the status with the state? Mr. Reyes, it's set for docket call. I've not allowed I have not given Mr. Reyes permission to appear via Zoom. Kind of wanted to know where we are on negotiations. If we were going to be announcing a plea, then I would be probably more apt to do that. If we're not, then I'm going to be less apt to do that.
Well, the state's made a very generous offer considering it's not really the gravity of this offense, it's what he did when he was 17, 18, 19 years old in Rockwall County and got a good chance and screwed it up. So they were kind of locked in and their MSRP isn't exactly what we want, but we understand it. Now, I don't have authority to accept it at this time. Although I did ask for that from him yesterday, and again, the confusion that I had leaving yesterday that we would just be on Zoom, that was kind of my expectation. And I don't know if I gave him any false, but I didn't also tell him, yeah, you've definitely got a hall pass. You're on Zoom, Mr. Reyes. I told him I'd present that request.
What I'd be willing to do is a judgment NISI under advisement till Thursday. You can come back on Thursday. And I can allow you to appear via Zoom, on Thursday, if that's the only setting you have.
I will graciously accept the court's offer to,
Okay.
extend his failure to appear to Thursday, and I'm emailing him that right now. He needs to be here on Thursday at 9 a.m. with bells on.
All right, so this is cause number CR 22-114, State versus Cornelio Reyes. Court finds that Mr. Reyes has not appeared today. Court's going to have his name called loudly, distinctly 3 times. Court will issue a judgment nisi and alias capias, but the court will take its execution under advisement until 9 a.m. on August 25th. That's Thursday of this week. Mr. Reyes is not here at 9 o'clock, then that warrant will go active. And that will be set for docket call. All right, you ready on Ms. Hunter? Or who are you ready on?
I need a minute, and we're still waiting on some paperwork from Mr. Enox.
Okay.
But we are going to plea Mr. Enox today. We just have some corrections to the judgment and the cost sheet. I'll need just a minute to square that away.
Okay.
Oh, is that?
Just gonna go over there. So we'll just have to reset that to another time. Is that all it was set for? Was it it? Just have to reset it and we'll need to see what you said. You can't appear to be assuming. Say that again. Where did we go? To the county courtroom? We're gonna be over there. We're gonna be in the county courtroom on Thursday. We won't be here. Yeah, tomorrow and Thursday will be in the county courtroom. Where we were yesterday. It's better set up than. And then we don't have to run over here. Mr. Versace, are you ready?
Yeah, I could just do a copy of, tonight.
Is that, have you received discovery on that yet? Electronic discovery?
We have not.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's just a domain.
Right, but what I'm getting at is if the state has electronic discovery and they authorize you to do it, you should be able to see it on your
Yeah,
phone.
we haven't received it yet.
Right, but I'm saying,
Requested it.
but I'm saying they could set it up right now, right? Could you do it right now, Mr. Woodwhite, and get it on his phone? And then,
I was also just gonna basically just show them that it just look on my computer.
Yeah.
That I can go fast, and then I will share it.
oh, I was just trying to give you an idea of how to do that without having to get up your laptop.
I know what you're doing, Ken. That was just. It's just as fast as it is. And then send it to them.
I'm just trying to help you train them. And they say, hey, I need a copy. It's in your, do you have a phone? It's in your phone. Techno wizardry. You ready? All right, come on up. This is cause number CR 22-207, State versus Christy Marie Conger. And Ms. Conger is set for arraignment, Mr. Versace.
Your Honor, I have gone over the charginess with my client, which understands the nature of the accusation made against her. We've entered her pleaded not guilty for purposes of arraignment today.
And you said her name is spelled correctly.
Yes.
All right, court will find that Ms. Conger has waived the formal requirements of arraignment. Court will enter her plea of not guilty into the record, and we will set this matter for pre-trial. You have your calendar with you, Mr. Versace?
Yes.
Are you available September 22nd or 27th?
The 27th.
27th. All right, Ms. Conger, we're going to set you for September 27th. That'll be at 9 a.m. And you'll need to sign your conditions of pretrial release before you go. Have you done that yet?
Yes.
Okay, you'll meet with Officer Mature. Will you be assisting Ms. Conger? You'll sign conditions of pretrial release, and those are conditions that are attached to your bail in this case. You'll have to report, take drug tests, those things. If you violate any of those, the court could find your bond to be insufficient, revoke it, and put you back in jail.
Okay.
All right.
Do I still need to contact my bonds?
Yes,
Okay.
your bondsman is your sole and separate private relationship.
Okay.
But they do receive notice from the court as to when your court settings are, but you're going to receive this notice right here from the court.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so you got that as 9:27 and 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll fill this out.
Are you Mr. Chavez? Come on up, Mr. Chavez. You come right up here. All right, Mr. Chavez, I was looking for you at 9 o'clock this morning.
Sorry.
Where were you at?
Traffic and came to the wrong place. I went to this.
All right, so it looks like the last time we were in court, there's 3 things that told you to do, and it looks like you did all 3. You paid your probation, you paid your court, you did your community service. So that's excellent. That's great. Looks like we still need some kind of status update. Let's see, no status. Let's see. Miss Burns, can you help me? Trying to figure out what that means. No status up received. No status update received. Okay.
Are you doing your cognitive behavioral check?
I'm sorry.
Are you doing your cognitive behavioral class check?
I was trying to talk to my probation officer about that. Came up sick that day. She told me I gotta go, like I can't be there, but I'm sick. I called her right away. She put me on hold for like 40 minutes, and then she's like, "Oh, I'll call you back in like 10 to 20 minutes," and she never called back. And then I was like, the office was closed.
Okay, so when's your next meeting with them? Do you know?
Probably like this week, maybe. Cause I always meet them right after this week.
I'm talking about your cognitive behavioral course, not meeting with your probation officer.
The probation, no, that's something that I haven't, done well, I did, well, I was trying to do the orientation, the one, like what I gotta do and all that, but she never called me back.
Okay, so what I want
Officer here or the officer in the other county?
Down here.
Okay, when you get done here and you're released, you need to go over and talk to.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. That's what I'm gonna ask. if I can
Okay.
talk to her.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Once you get your cognitive behavior course completed, then I'm gonna release you from sanctions court. Okay, so that's kind of the carrot you have. Once you get that course, get your orientation, you get that done, then you don't have to keep coming back to court. But you need to keep on what you've been doing. You need to keep on paying. So I'm not gonna order you to do those things and threaten you with jail. Okay, you know that you got to do those. Do those things. Get your cognitive behavior course done, and then you don't have to keep on coming back to court. Okay, so Miss Burns, one more thing. So do you want me to just keep on bringing you back until we get that
Yes.
done?
Yes.
So about how long does that take?
It depends. Here it's a 16-week file, but where do you live?
I live in Fort Worth.
So they could do 2 or 3 classes a week and not take as long.
Yeah.
Are you signed up and registered for a class?
That's what he was, I think that's what he was saying. He tried to go in for the orientation
Okay.
and then was sick or whatever, and they sent him away. Yeah, it's on your glasses right there. Yeah. So there's no, I don't see any notes about ordering him to pay all these things again. So I told him he just pays what he's supposed to pay. But,
Correct.
and then I told him that if he gets this done, we'll release it from sanctions
But at
court.
least he gets registered and can show proof next time that he's registered for the class.
All right. So let's do this. I'm gonna reset you for October. We're gonna skip September. I'm gonna bring you back in October. And if you come back in October and you show me that you've registered for your class and that you're taking your class, your coursework on this cognitive behavior course, that you're doing all that and you show me updates, then I will release you from sanctions court and we'll just let you continue your probation there and I won't keep bringing you back. Okay? So let's come back on, I'm gonna set it out a little bit longer for you. I'm gonna set it out to October 25th. Okay. So that gives you, and we're gonna write it right here for you and we'll give you a copy of it.
At 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. October 25th. So if you I'm Giovanni, you go by Giovanni? Giovanni, if you get this done and you get this to your probation officer here and they tell me, hey, we're fine with him, then I may not even have to make you come back. And I need to hear it from the probation officer that everything is the way it's supposed to be. Does that make sense? But I'm gonna order you to come back on the 25th unless the probation officer tells me that she doesn't want you here. You just plan on being here October 25th and somebody will tell you if you don't have to be. Okay. And that'll be at 9 a.m. and you'll need to complete you'll need to be, yeah, I'll make it. Come over that to me. Hey, Aaron. Aaron, would you do me a favor? Will you go round up Casey and tell him the bell's ringing? We're getting ready to leave and we need to. All right. Have you sign right here, Giovanni? Up there on that little X down there. So it's got your. Play that right there. All right, I'm gonna give you this copy here. It's got your date on there and it's got your notation about your cognitive behavior course, okay? All right, you go see your probation officer like Ms. Burns said. You throw that over there for me. I don't know where you can throw all those over.
He's got an emergency at the one fall office. I think it's one of his offices. He's out on the phone right now. I couldn't talk to him. He said he's dealing with an emergency at one of his offices.
Okay. Sorry.
Sides of names, Paul.
All right, let's call some names and we'll make use of our time.
Let's do it.
We are going to call Danny Mike Dittman.
Yes, sir.
We're not calling the Grindel because that's sanctions sport, so don't worry about that. So Danny Mike Dittman. Hey, what do you have on Robert Schultz for the reset date? I forgot to write it in mine.
I don't want those in mind.
I don't have a reception.
Wait, he's on page 8 also, right? Did I write it? Did I write it on that one? No, I did. I wrote it on page 8, but I didn't write it on page 3.
Yeah.
927.
927.
I didn't know.
One that Jeff.
He has an attorney at one, he doesn't have one on the file.
Maybe kind of not.
Okay, sorry. There. So on Kenneth Taylor,
I've gotten documentation.
do you think it's sufficient?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what does it say he's got? Sore throat?
And that says that he's still in the hospital with an unknown discharge date.
Okay, we'll reset that to 9/27. 9/27. So no nice eye for that one. Tavares Dixon will be a nice eye.
Draw some stars.
Go ahead and call Cornelio Reyes. I'm gonna take that one under advisement till Thursday. So what do I do on Isaiah Smith?
Okay, I emailed Mr. McClure back and said, did Mr. Smith acknowledge pre-trial date? Or did you just put the date in? He emailed me back and said he acknowledged the pre-trial date. And it's in e-file.
What's the date on it? You know,
9/27.
all right, we'll take him off the NASA list. we'll set Mr. Isaiah Smith for pretrial based on the waiver 9/27.
So Judge, did you sign the warrant?
9/20, what? That's not right. All right, so never mind. We're gonna knock out that one. Because that's not the right date. Isaiah Everett Smith. That's not right. Times 2. You can just call his name once, but yeah. Times 2. And then Mr. Massar you let him know that the court's gonna reject that and there's a nice eye and he can turn this guy in and we can let him argue with the state on that. So yes, Isaiah Smith. That's all that I show, Deputy McLeish. Massey appeared via Zoom.
Okay.
So the ones we have left are Enox and Hunter. Have we UA'd her? Are we UAing this Miss Hunter? No, we haven't called, no. We're waiting on her case. I'm just saying, I see a note on here to UA her.
I UA'd her when she got out of jail. That was. No. The one.
I'm getting them up.
It's good that we are just coming out of jail, because unfortunately, we can't say we're certain, but there are no drugs in our midst.
Oh, no.
It's true.
Like, at all.
It's
So,
true.
Bad.
It's real bad.
If I were in jail, I would probably want to do the same thing.
sorry, just. No more. No more.
We're gonna call those names real quick. And then
We had.
Let me put that on the record.
No, eight, straight probation. After once it's straight, I told you it would be a felony.
Okay. What time are you going on?
Another charge for police.
Can you wait on her? If it's not too long. And then I'm gonna tell her to be back at 3. So it's either we test her at 3 over there, or you can just wait on her and do it here. You can let her know. You let her know how you want to do it. I don't care. Mr. Enox, report back at 3 o'clock over there. No, 3rd floor in the hallway.
In the normal floor for you, they call it the 3rd floor. It's what you're in the 2nd floor. It's the same floor.
Not where you were yesterday.
Yes.
Upstairs.
They think basement first, second, you're on the 2nd floor. They don't, no one understands that the basement is the 1st floor.
They go in and press the,
Yes.
second floor.
Ms. Hunter,
And they wonder.
I'm gonna order you to be, I want you to report over to the courthouse on the top floor, outside the district courtroom. You're gonna appear via Zoom over there in a room, but just to report up on the top floor at 3 p.m. Okay? And then, whatever. And Ms. Hunter, whatever Officer Matura tells you regarding the UA. Okay? All right, Deputy McLeish,
Thank you, Judge. I'm sorry about that.
which one of y'all called names? You did? All right, so the court has called the following names who were not present at 9 a.m. Tyler, Casey, you need to, it's okay, I'm on the record.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
And she can't hear. All right, the court has called the following names who were not present at 9 a.m. Their names have been called loudly distinctly 3 times in the Van Zandt County Courthouse Annex with no response. The names are Danny Mike Dittman, Tavares Drell Dixon, Cornelio Reyes, Isaiah Smith, those individuals were not present at 9 a.m. as ordered, and they're not present at this time either. The court is going to issue judgment nisi and alias capias. For each one of those individuals, the court will be taking the nisi for Cornelio Reyes under advisement until August 25th, 2022 at 9 a.m. The other nisis will issue immediately. Court will stand in recess until 1